Hello and welcome to the Aligned, Embodied, and Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Haley, and I want to thank you so much for being here today. Whether this is your first time or if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. Today, we are covering part two of my Money Clarity series. So if you haven't already listened to part one, I highly recommend that you go back, take a lesson, and then come back to this episode. So, like I mentioned in part one, I want to break this down so you actually have easy, actionable steps that you can do without getting overwhelmed. So, part two is I want you to write a letter. Stay with me. I want you to write a letter to money. Because what this is going to do is it's going to help you understand what kind of relationship you have with money. Now, there is no right or wrong to this practice. There are no set rules. The only thing I ask of you is that you are completely and 100% honest and transparent with yourself, right? This exercise does not have to be shared with anybody. You can keep it close to you, you can burn it. But what this is going to do is it's going to highlight your truth about money, how money affects your life, how you treat money, how you react to money, how you respond to money. And it sounds a little woo woo, but money is just energy, and it will show you what your energy is like towards money. And this is an eye opening exercise because you can see if you trust it. You can see if you feel shame around it. You can see if you feel like you are unworthy of having money. The first time I did this, I think I cried. The first time I did this was probably back in 2019. I was at a women's event, and the speaker had us do this exercise. And the first time I did this exercise, it was quite overwhelming. I was in a place where I didn't trust money. I wanted it so badly, but I was barely hanging on. I thought I had quite a bit, but I didn't really understand it. I mean, I could pay my bills, but that was about it. I didn't really have a lot of extra money for fun, didn't really have a lot of extra money to buy myself things. And so I viewed money, and I didn't really know it, as kind of like this evil thing. And I didn't really want anything to do with it, which caused major blockages for it coming into my life. Or now that I think back to it, is that I didn't really allow myself to have an overflow, if that makes sense. I didn't really allow myself to experience more than what I needed to get by. And at the time, that's all I was actually wanting. I was just needing to get by. I just needed to get my bills paid. I just needed to keep a roof over my head. I just needed to keep my fridge stocked. And it was heavy and it was stressful. And I wish I knew where that first letter was. Like I said, I was in tears. I remember being sad that I didn't have enough. I remember being sad because I told it that I was neglecting it. I remember being sad because in the letter I said I wasn't paying attention and that I wasn't fully receiving what it was meant to do for me. And so over the years, I've written multiple letters to money. And I can say that today my letter looks completely different and that it is full of gratitude. And the energy that I have towards money today is completely different than it was 5 or 6 years ago. Today, my energy around money is expansive. I don't fear looking at my bank account. I don't fear asking for more. I lied. Sometimes I do fear it. I know how to respect it. I know how to multiply it. I know how to use it for good in the world, right? So, this conversation and this relationship that I have money has changed so much over the last few years. And I can say that it has improved because I treat it differently. I see it as a relationship, I see it as a partnership, really, because I have more money than I need, quote unquote, need, right? My basic needs for survival. I do have a little extra. I do invest. I do donate, which feels really good. I started tithing, which is a completely different episode. I'm able to pay for experiences. I'm able to buy gifts and share it on top of meeting my needs, on top of investing and multiplying. And in part three, in the next episode, we're going to go even deeper into responsibility and having a clearer picture of your partnership with money and what that looks like. So, again, go back and listen to part one if you need to again. write a letter to money to just see where you're at. Again, it doesn't have to be good or bad, but it's a starting point. And if you need an example, here's one off the top of my head. You might not be able to see me, but I'm closing my eyes. I'm taking a deep breath. I have one hand on my heart. Dear money, I want to thank you so much for being in my life. Thank you for providing a roof over my head and paying my rent, keeping my electricity on and paying my bills, affording me the food in my fridge. Money, I used to fear you. I used to fear having too much of you. I used to fear not knowing what to do with you. I used to fear not knowing if you were going to stay present in my life. And so I want to say I'm sorry for my past, for being afraid to look at you, for being afraid to learn more about you, for not trusting myself with you. And over the years, I want to thank you again for showing up, for providing more than I need, for blessing me with experiences and gift giving and donations, for being able to give gifts and help me put smiles on the faces of the ones who I love the most. Thank you for being there in emergencies, like when my dog stepped on a bee and I couldn't get the stinger out and I had to pay $500 to the vet unexpectedly. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for being in my account. And money, I promise to continue learning about you. I promise to continue reading books, buying courses, so that I know what to do with you, to expand you and multiply you. Because I know and I trust when good people have money, they make the world a better place. So I thank you for being with me on this journey. I thank you for always flowing into my bank account with ease. And I thank you for helping me impact others in a way that I couldn't do without you. Thank you again. Whew. For a second, I almost forgot I was recording. So I encourage you to try this. Set a timer, maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes, and just write. Just write what's true for you. And if you feel like you're in a groove, keep going. Maybe tell it what you want it to do, right? If you feel like you're in a place where you resonated with me a few years ago, where you didn't know if it was going to be there, you didn't know the language, you didn't know how to use it, right? Maybe tell it, I want to. I want to see what you can do. I want to see how you can provide. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. And again, I want to thank you so much for being here. My clients know that I am a huge believer in sharing for a few reasons. One, being seen and heard and witnessed takes healing to a completely different level. Being vulnerable and allowing others to see and hear and witness your vulnerability really takes the shame out of it, I think. And I've heard from my clients. It's truth, right? And being able to share that in a safe space, right? Not always, not everybody's going to be safe. But if you are craving to be seen, to be witnessed, which truly we all are, I invite you to share maybe your money letter with me. And I invite you to share it with me either through Instagram, send me a message, or you can even send me an email, which my email is haley@mindbodyandbreath.com. I'll leave it in the show notes. But also there's a space about sharing where it's almost a release. You don't have to hold it all by yourself, right? It doesn't have to weigh heavy on your shoulders. And so if you want to share, I highly recommend that you share. And I would appreciate it if you shared because I know that it's going to feel lighter and that it's going to take your healing and your money healing specifically to a different level. And so that is all for today. I will see you in part 3. If you thought this was helpful, share it with a friend, and I'll see you next time.